Honestly, this is a great studio that I just completely ripped off of her. She does her amazing podcast, Burning in Hell, in here. Do you guys do Giggly Squad here too? Or
We
do
do sometimes.
Zoom?
When we can get off the couch, we do it here.
Okay, I like when y'all are literally in bed with the mic. Like that to me is nice. I like that.
Work pretty well horizontally, and people need to normalize laying down while working.
I think you do a lot of great work horizontal.
Oh my God, thank you.
You're
I love your work as well.
Thank you so
Big
much.
fan of your work.
If I had a fucking dollar. Okay, so this is Hannah Berner. I like to lead with stand-up comedic because comedic, is that the right word? Comedian.
I went with it.
Okay.
We knew what you meant.
Stand-up comedian, because I personally went and saw one of your shows, and I just think you are so fucking funny. Obviously, in everyday life, like, I should have been rolling the whole time we were just casually talking about, like, our corn chip toes, which we can also delve into as well, because those are just, like, that's a burden that we both have to shoulder. But, and honestly, just she's wearing open-toed shoes, and I was like, you're so brave. What's wrong with your toes?
I am so brave and toe positive.
You are toe positive. I need to be more toe positive because I just cannot get behind it. Every time I get a pedicure, they have to, like, perform open-toe surgery, and they're always like, does this hurt? I'm like, yes. Or they'll tell me this is gonna hurt. I'm like, okay, do what you gotta do. But when I hurt my feet, I broke my feet 2 years ago. I think last summer, both my feet. I think we've talked about it on the podcast, right? Producer Courtney? Yeah, we have.
At different times or at the same time?
Same time. Dropped an industrial cooler on my feet. So that really fucking sucked, and I broke both my feet, and it was literally like 2 months after being single, and I was like, it's hot girl summer, and then I was really like in a wheelchair.
But it's such a good conversation.
I mean, it was great, except for like my
the
toes
amount of attention you must have gotten.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to be in a wheelchair, so I did the 2 crutches things, but then when you're using crutches for both feet, you kind of just look like you're playing on crutches. Like I was just like I would just like swing both feet, and I just look like a little kid.
That actually takes true athleticism. You're a full athlete.
You actually broke your toe from a skiing accident, right?
I was skiing because my toes went numb, and I didn't realize that like my toe was just being jammed.
Oh no.
And I performed surgery on my own toe, which was not great, but now she's learning to love herself, and she's doing okay.
That's sweet.
But people have, like, I feel like if I had something on my face, people wouldn't be constantly like, ew. But like, literally whenever anyone sees it, they go, ah, and I'm like, I can hear you.
I did it because mine is so gross. Like I literally, like I just said, I just got a pedicure, and she's like, oh, and I'm like, I know, I know, I know, and then I have to be like, I broke it. Okay.
Look, we're working women, and sometimes you bust a toe.
Sometimes you bust both your toes.
Also,
at the same time.
you were like gonna party. You had like a cooler full of alcohol.
Yeah, well, the party was over. I was dumping the ice out, and then a lot of people told me, like,
that's why I don't do administrative labor.
And I agree with that, and that is why I shouldn't have broken up with my boyfriend. I just should have stayed with him for all the wrong reasons to empty coolers. No, it was like I didn't have anyone in my life to empty the cooler, you know?
Okay.
And so, like, the cooler, I was like, I'll empty this industrial cooler of ice, and then I dropped it on my feet.
We just took down feminism in that moment, and she's like, just find a guy to hold the cooler, because
just do it.
If I can't get a good pedicure...
Then
we're done.
Then we're done. But I actually have been to one of her shows before. I think she's fucking hilarious, just randomly chatting, just actually creating a set. You are so impressive with your banter with the audience. Like that takes like I love to go to comedy shows. I go by myself. Honestly, you were like, are you here by yourself? And I was like, yes. I love doing that.
You like eating oysters or something by yourself?
It was pizza, but they kind of look alike sometimes, depending.
Round.
I
don't know why I had the memory of you. It looked chic in my head.
It was like truffle pizza and wine.
Yes.
Their truffle pizza fucks. We were at the Stand, right?
Yes.
It was really good. But I go to a lot of shows, and I really like when obviously I like watching like comedian sets, but it's so fun when they like pick at the audience. I always like pray to God that it's not me, and I have like this bright red hair, then I'm like, there's someone's gonna fucking say something about me not having a soul, but then I'm like, that's not even funny, so they probably wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, hack.
But a hack, yeah. But I just was so impressed. You like ripped on these guys so hilariously that I was like, this is my girl. I really fucking think you're a talented comedian.
Well, you saying that shows that you have a very highbrow sense of humor, so thank you. But also, I've had a girl crush on you for a long time, and it also was not really, I never watched your show that you were on.
I never watched Summer House. We obviously, guys, are going to talk about Summer House, because that was when I asked the questions. Everyone's like, but it was interesting because I actually have questions. So
yeah.
So,
but I had a crush on you based on your overall personality and how you carry yourself. And then one day, I think you might have laughed at something I did, and I was like, this is my chance. This is my chance. So get nervous.
You followed me or commented on something, and I was like, you fucking guys, this like really legit like comedian, and she was on a reality show too. Like she just followed me. They're like, follow her back, and I was like, I'm gonna. And you know what? I'm gonna.
I feel like reality TV is also like a weird, like we went to a high school and it's like a little reunion where you hang out.
Absolutely.
You talk about some trauma.
Yeah.
But I think both of us are similar in that we like to entertain, and we'll do it in all forms. And we have strong personalities, so we could be the hero or the villain very easily.
So this is me. I'm like, true. So this is what the question that I kept getting on my the question box that I put on Instagram. Everyone was like, and I was like, oh, how exciting! I didn't know that. They were like, obviously, you guys have to talk about both being the villain on your reality TV show. And I was like, cool, she was the villain, me too. So this is funny too. The guy that I just told you about, the one that I'm going to London tomorrow to see, right? He has like a bunch of followers on Instagram, and one of the first things I said was like, how'd you get all your followers and a blue check? And he was like, oh, I was on this reality TV show 5 years ago that I won. Like, it's like, and I was like, what was it called? It was like a fitness show. He's like, I won it, or did he win it? I don't remember. I don't remember.
You don't want to be with a loser. You have to.
Oh, if he didn't win it, then we're done.
We're done.
But I can't remember. He just said he was like on a competition show, and I was like, oh, really? I'm pretty sure I lost mine. Like, I'm pretty sure. And he was like, was it a competition show? I was like, no, but I definitely think I lost.
Well, it's like WWE where they like people to. There's a narrative to get you to root for certain people.
Oh yeah.
And it gets people excited, and it could be about the littlest, stupidest thing.
It is comparable to WWE. That was a good
it
comparison.
It totally is, because
Nice.
like you also people watching, they know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen,
Totally.
but you're still rooting for it. What was interesting with my show is my first 2 seasons.
Hannah was on Summer House, by the way.
Oh yeah, my first 2 seasons were like incredible. Like I didn't even get like one girl said I look like I don't shower, and that was like the most hate I got.
Okay.
Which is like valid.
Yeah.
You laugh too hard at that, like, producer. I'm Italian. I get a little greasy sometimes. If I don't shower every day, you can tell. Insensitive. So, but I will have no wrinkles because I have olive oil in my skin. But
That is nice. Like J-Lo. Do you use olive oil on your skin?
no.
Okay, that's
no.
what she said she does.
No, she lied. But my last season, we all got stuck in a house, but the crazy thing about my villain era is I didn't know I was until it aired.
Oh no. Okay, so that was the exact question I had.
That
Did
was
you know
one of
you're
those.
gonna be the?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I thought
no,
I was
that's-
being a feminist icon.
That's really traumatizing.
It's very traumatizing because then you watch it and you're like, oh my God, that's not how it went down. And then I also had no confessionals. Like they cut out all my confessionals.
Well, obviously they got to, because
So
then you had.
there was literally like one thing where they were like, Hannah's not hanging out with people. She's not helping clean up or whatever, which was valid. I didn't help clean up sometimes, but it's like me walking to the bathroom. And and then like,
Oh yeah.
if everyone's down to talk shit on you, it is so easy to like
totally
to do that.
They slice and dice things. So okay, I've got to take this off. Sorry, it's like it's covered in sweat. I just walked here. It was.
What is that?
It was acting as a bra, but I can't.
She's like, oh, it's a Prada ribbon.
It would match your. Oh my God, there's so much sweat under my tits.
I mean, maybe you shouldn't wear a massive black sweatshirt.
I'm getting a spray tan tomorrow, and I only spray tanned this part of my neck so I could do this podcast. Okay.
Honestly, spray tan problems. People don't talk about it enough, but it's
what?
exhausting, especially in the city.
It's exhausting. I'm literally paying someone like their mortgage to come to my apartment to spray tan me. In Nashville, I just call my friend and say, I like bought a spray tan machine. I'm like, will you spray tan me? And she's like, yeah.
Oh my God, that's wild.
So
I'll
teach you. And
I don't
you
even
can
trust
come.
myself with a cream. I don't trust myself at all.
But you get naturally tan. When I did my interview with Claudia, she's like, you just got back from Spain. She's like, didn't you get tan there? I was like, you think I get tan from the sun? From the sun?
I don't want to start like a GoFundMe against you, but like you need to stop with the spray tan because I really think you'd look iconic without a spray tan.
I think I would look ill. We just had this conversation. She was like, it would give Emma Chamberlain. I was like, I think it would give like chronically ill.
Yeah, but I do think I have a feeling that everyone looks their best, like their most authentic self.
See, for me personally, I think,
and that might be toxic positivity. That might have been.
For me personally, I think that's too positive. I just think that's too positive. And I appreciate that. Like I have friends, like my best friend Taylor. And I was like, you would look so much better without a spray tan. She's Hawaiian. You look so much better with a spray tan. Italian.
But like, you know what's unfortunate? I'm a huge hypocrite because I literally lost my tan the other day. Like this is me less tan. And I cried because I felt like I looked like a potato.
Okay, and that is what you look like without a tan.
Yeah,
a potato. Everyone.
I look better with a tan, but you'd look good without it. I just like, for example, you could pull that off. Like I feel like whatever. I
appreciate the
Never
sentiment.
mind.
I'm absolutely not going to take it into any consideration. But thank you so much. I'm getting warm, so I'm pulling my sleeves up, and this part of me's not spray tan. I'm like, I'll just roast in here. I'll just be
Okay, if the man of your dreams was like I don't like spray tans, what would you do?
the man of my dreams will see me without a spray tan eventually because I'll be like leaving his house to go get a spray tan.
Yeah.
But like I will be like, that is so sweet, babe. I'll see you when I get back, and don't touch me for like 8 hours because I'll have a spray tan.
I feel like spray tans have like a little heroin in them, and they get into your veins, then you get fully addicted to them. Like,
I'm
I
addicted.
think you have a problem, and no one's talking about it. No one's called you out, and I'm here.
Everyone's talking about it. I do everything for spray tans. Like anything I will do. I just said I left this one square so that I could
That's disgusting.
properly
Please cover that up. Please cover up your pale chest. But you should not get spray tan.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll think about it. Okay. So I knew I was going to be the villain because our show, were you on the first season of your show?
So I came on in like kind of a rejigger of the third season where they like cut half the cast.
Oh, wow.
And they brought in me, Paige, and our friend Jordan.
Okay.
And they want people to care about you. So
Yeah.
like they're not gonna, but you won't hate someone unless you kind of care about them.
Oh, absolutely. So, but it's nice though because you kind of joined us. It was already a smash hit, Summer House, right, on Bravo?
It was
Getting
okay,
there.
but like it hadn't found its
It's like a little.
they
like,
didn't know
moment
what they
yet.
were doing yet, but I feel like the chemistry of everyone when we got there really clicked, and
Yeah.
it was so
Then it became like iconic.
my first 2 seasons were so fun.
Yeah.
But what happened is my last season we were stuck in a house and there was like not a lot going on, and there
They
was
have to create
a
stuff.
lot of things not shown, and I ultimately think we love the downfall of an outspoken woman.
Yeah. Oh no. What was it?
We love it. It's so much more
Yeah.
interesting than a guy just being a dick.
Oh, 100%. So I was 100% villainized, but basically our show wasn't a show. We did the pilot, we did the Sizzler, we did it from like start to finish. I actually just talked to another podcast about how like I had called my friends from back home. I was like 23. I was like, first of all, I'm going to be on TV, prime time, after the Kardashians, E! News. And they were like, okay, 2 years goes by, but it's because it takes so long to put all those things in production,
my
get picked
God,
up, do a green
yeah.
light, whatever. But then it was.
But you were on the ground floor, like you were part of what they envisioned as
Yeah.
a great show.
So, but because of that, they basically said, like, if you guys want this show to succeed, like, shows don't succeed all the time. Shows get canceled all the time. And Kristen, at the time, was an executive producer of the show as well. And she was like, listen, Shannon, she was like, I was the villain on my show. No one outwardly was like, will you be the villain? But they basically were like, someone has to stir the pot. Like, will you do it? And I was like, fuck yeah. I just didn't mind. I was like, my friends are on the show too. They know I'm not a shithead. My boyfriend at the time was on the show. He was like, do it, whatever you. And of course, I was like the most recognizable character on the show other than Kristen, for sure.
Yeah.
But like literally everyone fucking hated me. Like everyone hated me. But it wasn't as tough, I don't think, when it aired. I had already told like my friends, my family, like, whoo, yeah, it's gonna be something.
So
like,
did you feel like you were fully acting?
at some points totally, yeah. Like this one time, the girl that was on the show with me, Brittany, we like went and got coffee beforehand, and same thing, like not a lot had happened in the last couple tapings, and I was like, they need us to do something. I was like, you want to just get in a fight? And which is funny now because we actually really do not get along now, but at the time we were kind of like working together just because you don't want to sit there and film for 28 hours. So I was like, well, I'll just like throw something. She's like, well, what could I say that would like bother you? I was like, I don't know, like compare our ages or something and say that I'm like immature. And she's like, okay. And like we literally like created this like office scene where I like threw a bunch of like shit in a box, and I remember afterwards she was like, crushed it, and I was like, crushed it.
But that is so smart, because I think reality TV is successful when you understand that you're a team with the same goal.
Yeah.
And I think where reality TV shows have problems, and I'm not like specifically talking about Summer House, but in general, it becomes purely about egos, and then everyone's literally trying to kick each other off the show, and then people actually try to ruin lives.
No, bad.
And then it gets really like Bravo
the
gets
Housewives
really
all the
scary.
time. I mean,
all the time. And then you get to the point where you're like, why is the show not good anymore? It's like because they're actually fighting about production stuff, but they can't show it.
Right.
So then you're just like, why are they so mad at each other?
So true, because like you guys they can't break the fourth wall. They can't break
but
the
when
fourth
they do,
wall.
it's epic.
I love when they
when
break the fourth wall. Our show broke the fourth wall a good bit, but
They
like
should.
and I always thought it was pretty iconic. I think that was actually Kristen's idea. She like wanted to show green screen sometime. I remember there were several times that we were fighting with people about production based things, or I was mad at a producer, not a cast member, and they like were contriving it. And you're right, the viewers like, what happened? And I'm like yelling at this girl Reagan, but really I'm like so pissed that the producer put me in this position. And I'm like, I know what you fucking did. And then but they can't break the fourth wall, so they can't say it. It gets dicey. But I did have more of a heads up about being the villain. What I did not have a heads up about was I got kicked off my show. Like essentially like Kristen was like, she will no longer film, and I was like, are you kidding? I thought I was just being fired. Like I thought I was still on the show. Yeah. Because she fired me from like the job. I'm doing air quotes. I actually had to work for her, but like she fired me from the show, and then the producer's like, you know, you're still on the show though, right? because she fired me from my job. Sorry. And I was like,
that's
obviously.
That's like Vanderpump, where like they fight with Lisa, but they're in and out.
Totally. It was exactly like that. And they were like, you're still on the show, right? I was like, obviously. Yeah. What would you guys do without me? Yeah. And then like, literally, I never got called, and all my friends. And so this is another question I have for you. All my friends are still filming, and I was like, this is fucking weird. I was like, why? I used to have way more call times than them. And I'm like, ego comes into play. I'm like, why am I not being filmed? And then I basically reached out to her producer. I'm like, y'all aren't filming me this season, are you? And she was like, I'm going to be completely honest. No, Kristen doesn't want you on the show.
And it's hard because you're like, I gave you guys everything,
my life, and
I took the hit.
Yes. I'm literally like,
but
the mob. I'm like, I took the hit. You guys have to fucking, when I get out of the hospital, you have to let me back on.
But I'm telling you, sometimes you outgrow stuff.
It worked out for the best.
It really.
Do you feel the same way about yours? People asked
1,000%.
A lot of people asked if you would go back on, or sorry, if it bothered you when your friends were still on the show. Because my friends were still on the show, some of them, and I was jealous. Like I was like, damn, dude, that was so much like fun, and I got so much clout, and like I'm really missing out on that now. Like I was bummed that I like wasn't still on the show, and I didn't watch the next season. Like everyone's like, did you keep up with it? I was like, no, I literally didn't for my own mental stability.
I can't watch reality TV anymore.
Yeah, are you like triggered kind of?
It's really bad.
No, I don't really watch
and I also
that much
have like
either.
a lot of empathy when I see someone like
totally.
Oh my god, people love to decide like why they hate someone.
Yeah.
Where when I see people hating on someone, I immediately like try to see the big picture.
Yeah.
And I also feel like people are so not black and white.
Right.
And also like reality TV is also the kind of thing where they like to like laugh at you.
Oh yeah.
And like I like being self-aware and but I also think what people don't always know about me is I started as like a comedy video producer.
Yeah.
And so I like love the production process, and I also would like write and I'd act, and I was doing funny tweets, and then out of nowhere Summer House was like, do you want to film? So I actually started like wanting to do comedy. So in my head I was like, this was such an amazing experience. And my friends, like Paige and Sarah, my best friends, and even like Amanda on the show had once told me, like she saw me do comedy and she was like, oh, this is what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
And that was like middle of second season where I was like, no, I love Summer House. I love being on it. And she was like, oh, you're alive. Like, this is how you feel. And then I realized, like, this isn't a game you win. Like, you don't win reality TV.
No, you don't.
You're playing with mud. Sometimes you get to do some fun things, and there's highs and lows. And I'd rather be in a place where, like, my worst day is, like, me trying my best. And it's hard because, like, I was friends with those people for 4 years, and I, like, learned to like really love them. And we were doing COVID, so like we weren't really talking a lot during that time. Like I didn't see them.
The cast members, the producers weren't just like
it probably was a combination, but all I know is like I still like have such great memories with all of them.
Yeah.
And it basically was like this one really hard season that we were stuck in a house for 6 weeks, where normally we get a break.
Right. That's
so like
toxic.
we were doing everything together, and it became this kind of like pile on, and people were like getting popularity from hating me. And I at first had so much animosity, but now I can like truly say I've done like a lot of therapy this last year, and I understand we were in like a super unique situation, and I know deep down like that I don't hold any resentment towards them anymore, which was like the only way that I could like continue doing what I do, because like holding venom for people just poisons you.
It's debilitating. I mean, people act like it's a weight on your shoulders. It physically can like make people ill. Like it can actually make you ill.
like
I remember the day
shortens your lifespan.
Yeah.
I mean,
when I stopped hating Kristen and stopped taking everything so personal and realized like it's okay. There was probably reasons. There was her own situations and whatever for doing it. And like her and I have rekindled and we're friends now. But you know, I just like, I remember thinking genuinely, I feel lighter. Like pop off queen, go take a bikini pic because you just lost 20 pounds. Like I literally felt physically like it was, and maybe that was like the only time I dealt with real anxiety, and I didn't really know how to pinpoint that it was anxiety until I told someone how I was feeling after the last episode aired, and they were like, that's anxiety. And I was like, I have anxiety? And they're like, yes, right now. And I was like, oh. And when I finally went to therapy, did a bunch of things to like help myself with it, I was like, I physically feel lighter.
I felt like it brought back like childhood memories of like you're standing at school and like a bunch of kids, like you try to make a joke and no one laughs.
Yes.
And then they literally talk to each other like she sucks.
Yeah.
And I literally experienced that on like a
national
level. And
I
did have animosity because I know that it's like they were protecting themselves, because if they come for me, no one will come for them.
Yeah.
And I was like the best possible scapegoat, and I also was like so reactive. I took every single like opportunity. Like I
was so reactive as well.
because I was also like, let's make the best fucking show ever.
That's what I
And
did.
our show was like
the best ever. It was.
And also like I was never like,
when I was on my season, it was the best season ever. Just FYI.
I mean,
we know.
I was so proud of some of the seasons I was on, and I had my like villain era, as in I stopped taking shit from certain people, and turns out those people were way more powerful than I was.
Did you have, and I hate that, did you have anyone ever reach out and apologize to you? I had a couple people afterwards be like when that people that after I was off the show and I wasn't there to defend myself, which really fucking sucked. No confessionals, no anything. I was like, oh, I get it now. Reach out to me and say like, hey, like, I just felt like I was kind of in a position where I had to say that, like, I'm sorry. And I was like, at the time I was like, oh my God, you're fine, I don't care, girl, it's TV, it's reality TV. But really, I remember thinking like, I actually really appreciate that apology, and I actually really needed that apology, and that was really nice. Because some of the people I was like, she said that, but she even said that, like, it was kind of like crazy.
Oh yeah.
So no one ever reached out to say like, are you okay? Not in a corporate, we got to make sure.
I reached out to people after, and I was ignored. Okay. But it's because if they had answered, then that would mean that they thought I could have a chance of being on the show, and their ultimate goal was
to get
me off the show, and I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Yeah, I know. I remember our show went on for 2 seasons after, and I was crushed that I wasn't on it. And I look back now, and I'm like, there was literally nothing better that could have happened to me. For you, your comedy was able to take off and grow its wings and spread. And like I said, it's incredible. You guys. I also just think
I give back more when I'm not like. I'm also actually very bad at like drama, and I also was not fighting with women. I was fighting with men, which like
a WWE shit.
No, I think women is way harder. Like I was going for the basic stuff, and I am actually not good at being like snaky. Like I'm pretty just like like I just say how I feel, and I'll eventually snap and be like, my mom doesn't like you. Like I'm like that bad at fighting. Yeah. I mean, I'll be like a sarcastic bitch sometimes, but like it takes so much for me to get there. I'm just so much better in this world, like choosing love and choosing laughter. And some people are fucking really good at reality TV. I'm not saying I didn't have great moments, but like I would have to like give myself a whole pep talk to like call someone out on something. I'm such a people pleaser where like, and I'm Sicilian, so I take things personally. I never forget anything. So, like, if you cross me once, I can never trust you. Yeah. So, like, 3 seasons in, I had, like, a list on shit. And I was like, I knew you would do that. I knew you would do that. And but I do have to say one person, though, did reach out. The whole thing was very early on. I got into, like, one little spat, and I got invited to, like, a wedding. Like, very early on in the season. Okay. So I was like, clearly you guys don't want me around.
Like we got 4 more weeks of this,
and like it was pretty like it's the feeling of like being kicked out of a group or being alone is pretty painful. Yeah. But I try to like keep my head high, whatever. But then I ended up getting married, and one person from the show reached out, and it was really nice.
That is really nice. I'm glad to hear that. Honestly, I am. And I really like seeing this side of you because, again, like I said, I really enjoy your, like, comedic relief. And you still have comedic relief in talking about your trauma, which is special.
You're like, I love when you're not funny.
It's nice,
kind of exhausting when you're making jokes all the time.
All the time. But you have a podcast called Burning in Hell, and it basically talks about, like, the inner demons that people struggle with. And you guys need to check it out because I've listened to several episodes, and it's really, really insightful and still funny, but shows, like, a side of you I think I wish more people that watch the show and may not like you would see from you.
Thank you. I feel like I'm proud of like the community I've built around me of a lot of like really fucking funny self-aware women who also have highly functioning anxiety and depression or not highly functioning anxiety and depression, and a lot of creatives, their minds work that way. Yeah. And I just feel like making my like followers, honestly, my followers are funnier than me, and like I just feel lucky to be surrounded by them, but also like the core people in my life have definitely gotten me through this.
Yeah, and you just got married to one of your core people, right? Your dad?
Yeah, yeah, my zaddy.
Your zaddy. Not your
and dad. But yeah, it was I feel like my relationship, I was able to put 100% in, and like a little privacy went a long way.
That's nice. Someone said, how do you, what was the word they used? How do you decentralize men from social media? Is that the word, correct word?
I think it's because after I got married, I posted just a photo of me. And people were like,
iconic.
Someone's like, she's such a narcissist.
I liked that photo.
What actually happened was I really wanted to post something, and I wanted like to get Dez's approval before I posted something of him.
That's really nice.
But I actually was like super, thinking of his feelings. But no, I just wanted to share my dress. Because also, like, it's for the girlies. It's not for me to be like,
100%.
Look how happy my relationship is. I wanted to show them the flowers I chose, the dress I chose. I did have, like, a Tulum disco garage sale human sacrifice vibe. And I wanted people to be inspired by that aesthetic.
Okay.
And
I personally am.
I joke a lot about decentralizing men from my life.
Okay, that's what you've said. Okay, that's
it's like my thing, like, let's decenter men from our lives, even though I'm getting married. But I think it's because a lot of girls are trained at a young age that, like, your goal is to meet a man, and once you meet him, that's happiness.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't need him. I want him.
Yes.
And it hasn't made me, like, happier that I got married. I'm not, like, a full woman now that I got married.
Is the sex different? Someone literally asked that. They said, ask her if married sex is different. I was like, okay.
Ooh, I actually feel like I did take Plan B the day after my wedding,
Sick.
Which was iconic.
Love that for you.
I will say, I was like, do you want a baby? Because I forgot to take my birth control for 4 days straight because I'm chaotic with it. I will, like, just snort a Plan B and be like, I'm on track. We're good.
Did you not start your period because you didn't take your birth control for 4 days?
That's what happened. I started, like,
you had period
spotting.
sex on your wedding?
Honey, we are nasty.
You're crazy, girl. You're crazy.
We're crazy, girl. So anyway, it's been, like,
that
more
was the
intimate.
human sacrifice part. Cute. I am inspired now.
Wow, that was a highbrow joke, and I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you so much. Okay, wait, I'm really happy with this. I was actually just, like, gushing about a guy I met in Barcelona that I'm flying to go see, and I'm gonna say fuck him. I'm not going tomorrow.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
you'll
fucking
go.
going. I'm obsessed with him.
You'll go, but yeah, they're not. When you make choices in your life purely based on men, it's not authentic to you.
I feel like I stopped doing that a long time ago, and I talk about it on the podcast a lot.
Well, when you met him, you were just going with a girlfriend.
Totally. And I used to completely morph my body into whatever I thought the dude would want.
I'd cancel plans with friends.
Oh, that. Well, I'm talking about. I would start
toxic.
saying I like to watch baseball. Like, I would just, like, say anything they did. I'd be like, oh, you're in a band. I'm like, that's crazy. I also love weird music that's not Meg Thee Stallion too. Yeah. So I listen to it on vinyl.
I would go so far as, like, be in his bedroom, just, like, freezing cold, and, like, not tell him, can you turn the air conditioning down, just because I want to be chill.
Oh, cool girl. So I talked about that on mine. I did cool girl to the max, to the point that this one time I spent, like, a week with this guy and his family in New Jersey, and he got, I know, first of all, like, that was another burden for me. Okay. And then I went to, we both were leaving the same day. He was going to waste management. I was going home, and, again, like, was with his family, and he was, like, talking about this girl he was going to see at waste management. And I literally go like this. I go, what did you just say? And he was like, Shannon, don't act like you give a fuck. And I gave so many fucks. I literally went to the airport gate and cried my eyes out. But whenever he looked at me and said that, I literally looked at him and I was like, I don't give a fuck. And he was like, I know. And I was like, I know.
There's an iconic TikTok, and I'm so mad that I can't credit the source, but you probably could find it, where she's like, this is the key to coming off as a cool girl. When you get in your house, you just throw your jacket.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it.
You just throw your jacket. And meanwhile, you're like, you are following his location.
Yeah.
You've stalked everything, but he thinks you're chill because you've thrown your jacket.
And there's this part of the TikTok where she's like, and then he does find out that you, like, stalked his coworker and you're wearing a mustache and hat, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, and then you just look at him and just throw your jacket.
Throw your jacket. And the guy's like, this girl doesn't give a shit.
But I won't do that anymore, because it puts you in positions where, you know, that guy was for sure a fuckhead, but, like, at what point was he kind of just working off of what I was giving him, which is like, I don't care, I'm so cool, like, let's just fuck, like, I don't care. And really, I liked him a lot.
And I hate to compare men to dogs, but there's so many good comparisons in that, you know how dogs, like, actually like order? They like you to tell them what to do. They love when it's like sit, and they're like, hey. So, like, men actually want you to tell them what you need.
Yeah.
And then they feel useful because they're very bad at hints, very bad at reading your mind.
100%.
I'm one of those bitches who would, like, hold it all in and be so chill, and then one day bust down the door and be like, I can't do this anymore. I haven't eaten in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and they're like,
what?
And I'm like, I'm done with you. And I'll leave. And they were then,
yeah,
it's super traumatizing.
No, 100%. I mean, I think that not being the cool girl and not fucking trying to morph yourself into something. Like, I literally still to this day in my wallet have a Cubs credit card. I can't get the bank to change it. I convinced this guy I was obsessed with the Cubs. It went way too far. I was the bank.
You're like, I bought 10% of the Cubs.
No.
I'm currently a co-owner of the Cubs.
I own the Cubs. It just went too far, and now it's actually just kind of like a running joke because literally I've lost this debit card 85 times, but they keep sending me new ones with the Cubs on it, and I'm always like, God damn it. And then like every time I'll be at an airport or something, I'll give my debit card, they'll be like, Cubs, and I'm like, Cubs.
That's like, who's your favorite player? And you're like,
no. And then they won the World Series, like, and they were like in this drought, this curse, whatever, 50-year curse, and they won the World Series. I remember being like, people reached out to me and were like, I'm not kidding. It was kind of nice.
For the girlies out here who are dating too, like, I assume a lot of really attractive women listen to this podcast. It is so easy to date someone for 6 months if you just act chill and they're good looking and you're good looking. Like, I've wasted so much time in a relationship just being like fake pleasant. An actual quality relationship is about being good at fighting and also being able to just like sit on the couch and do nothing together. So stop with the like fancy dinners and just acting fake. First date, start a fight, see if it goes well, and go from there. First date, literally go to fucking Home Goods and sniff every candle, and if he doesn't burn the place down,
then he's all right.
Marry him.
I think that really like communicating with people too, like, it doesn't even have to be a fight. Like, my ex and I were actually really good at fighting. Like, people would be like, y'all never fight, and I'm like, we for sure do. We just don't like throw shit at each other and make it this whole chaotic thing. Like, we disagree with each other, and we for sure have like conversations where like like that, but we don't slam the door and then not talk to each other afterwards. There's been times where I was like, I need a fucking break, like I have to actually walk away right now. I'm pissed, but I mean,
it's like you can sense when someone's not on your team, where like you lose them. We're like, is it two people like in a group project trying to figure out how to solve it, or is it like the Cubs versus the Yankees?
Yeah, there was one time, I'll never forget this, and my ex certainly doesn't listen to this podcast, but there's just one time he would not like I looked at him and I was like, we're on the same team.
Yeah,
we're on the same team. And he was like, you could tell, kind of sunk in. I was like, why are you pushing back so hard for this conversation? I was like, if you don't agree, that's fine, but we're on the same fucking team. And he was like, okay, I see what you mean. You needed me to support you. And I was like, yes, for love of fuck. And he was like, oh, because like if you're dating someone, married someone, whatever, like you're on the same fucking team, bro. Like it's like you guys can disagree to whatever, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out a way to bring it back around town.
And regardless if you're right or wrong, like, there's no winning.
No, god damn. Why'd you shit yourself at a bodega?
Oh my god, I love these questions. Cause who doesn't shit themselves at a bodega?
I would if it would mean they would remember my order. I feel like I want to be in New York so bad and they just like don't remember me. I wanted to walk in, I go the same one every day.
You will. Well, it's cause you're fucking traveling every day. No, you have to be consistent.
I think
it's
because I get mayonnaise on my sandwich and they don't respect me.
I think this is something you're holding in, and you need to communicate with him.
They always say, like, what's the thing they say in New York? Ketchup, salt, pepper, KSP.
Yeah, ketchup, salt, pepper on a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
Don't get mayo on a bacon, egg, and cheese.
I do.
What? You're done. Okay, I need to go. This is.
So I say it, and every time I'm like, I know you fucking. I live above the bodega.
See you in court.
And I'm always like, and they go, okay, I think it's like their running joke, which like I'll laugh with them. I'll be the funny girl that orders mayonnaise, but they just act like they don't remember me. And then they're always like, mayonnaise. And I see this massive jug of mayonnaise.
Wait, you know what it is? They do like you, but you're so used to like the South. If someone's making fun of you for ordering mayo, that means they like you. They don't
make fun of me. I wish they would. I wish I could be part of the joke. I think they just like wait till I leave and then they're like,
oh, so you've like disturbed like they don't know them to their core.
They act like they don't know me. I come in there literally every like day to get a coffee for sure, and then most days I get a bacon, egg, and cheese, and I add mayonnaise. And they literally are always like, what do you want? And I'm like,
do you put like mayonnaise on avocado?
No, I wouldn't do that. Why would you do that?
Just the texture is just a lot.
That one's already gushy.
But I do have to say, my whole bodega shitting story is that I have a theory that like everyone's shit themselves before, and I'm not trying to like equalize everyone, but I think everyone's shat themselves before. Or at least a shart.
I was gonna say I had a shart one time that came out of absolutely nowhere. I was like laying in bed, thought I had to fart, and it, like I wasn't sick, I wasn't ill, nothing. And I'll never forget. I was living with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he was in the kitchen. We lived in an apartment. He was in the kitchen, and I remember being like, oh, because I was literally just like laying in bed, just like this. And I was like, I had to gather all the bedding. Like I had to like get up, and I was like, and I remember he was like,
were you naked?
Need help? Yeah, I just woke up.
Oh, you raw dogged your shart? That is disgusting. No,
it was so jarring.
If I'm turning it on you, I'm like, you're gross.
It was so jarring.
No, I sharted too. I didn't like hard poop. I'm not like,
Nobody
not
does
like a
that.
dog.
No one's. Yeah,
I didn't have a solid shit accidentally. No, you try to be a hero and you think you can fart and you can't.
Yeah.
And I was wearing yoga
No.
leggings, but I was wearing granny panties, which
That's
did
nice.
save me in that moment.
But it's also really weird you were wearing granny panties with yoga pants.
It's just my brand and I can't change it at this
Okay.
point. Like I'm wearing granny panties right now.
But that dress makes sense to wear those with. Easy breezy, beautiful cover squirrel.
Exactly.
That's
But the great thing is it kind of act as a vehicle to save.
that
it.
is nice.
And
I had no vehicle. I, was
went-
on the open road.
I went in the bathroom and I joke that like whenever you have need to quickly go to the bathroom, no one knocks. But whenever
No.
you have like a project, there's someone in 2 seconds who's like,
Not the fucking project. When you have a bodega shit project, everyone wants to get in
it
the
is
bodega
a
bathroom.
shit project, and I like took off the leggings. I threw away this underwear because I have a lot of granny panties. Amazon, it's easy. And then just like
You're so rich.
and then I guess some might have leaked, so I kind of washed it and just had wet leggings on. And I walked out there and I said, I'm a new woman now, and I've experienced trauma, and I've overcome adversity, and nothing can take me down now.
no one knows my story except for one of my friends that I just told on a very public podcast. 'Cause I never even told my ex what I was going to tell him. Like, I
think
can't
it's
believe I did this
important.
one time.
I also think talking about pooping immediately bonds women.
Mm.
Like if I ever feel awkward around someone new, I'll just be like, oh, I just had a nervous poop. And they'll respond 2 ways. They'll either be like, oh my God, me too. Or they'll be like, ew. And that's how you know who's your people.
That is how you know who your people, your poop peoples. Okay, I also do you want to talk about your wedding honeymoon? Are you going on a honeymoon?
So
He's
did
from
a
Ireland,
staycation,
right?
So he's from Queens, New York, and at 14 he moved to Ireland because he was a naughty boy.
Did he start faking his accent? I feel like you have a pretty like stern, because he has an accent, right?
He has a thick New York accent with random Irish words.
When I
It's
hear him, I think he
weird.
sounds Irish.
It's like he sometimes will say things with a different like rhythm.
Oh,
It's exotic.
it's giving what's that show with the Peaky Blinders?
Oh wait, you know what's crazy? He went to college. He's good friends with the star of Peaky Blinders.
Really?
The guy who always plays the villain.
Yeah.
His name is we forgot.
You forgot.
I don't
it.
really care about his friends.
Yeah, you don't have to care about his friends.
No.
Did you have sex on camera on your TV
Killian
show?
Murphy.
Oh, that is his name.
Oh yeah, I was
Someone wants to know how you got past that. I do. It's me.
how
Someone says, how does she deal with just like, well, this was a question that they sent. How does she deal with straight up just this Annika, straight up just like banging on camera? And I was like,
I've
oh,
actually never had sex on camera. I did have a guy go down on me for a long time, and I didn't receive the favor, which I just thought was feminism. And then what I'd do is I'd go into like, I've been in my bathroom and I'll turn on the shower.
They had cameras in y'all's rooms.
Yeah, but not in the bathroom.
Ours was not
But
like
if you
that.
were in the bathroom, like they could hear stuff. But the problem is they'll take audio
Oh yeah.
from other times.
You didn't know how to turn the mics off? We would turn ours off.
We would, but they would still like get it from the outside.
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
And you'd also get in trouble if you turned your mic
We
off.
would get in trouble too. I only did it once.
'Cause
and
also-
they basically were like, you like
we
literally
but
can't
we
fucking
have
do that.
mics everywhere. Like Paige and I, the first night,
You had like booms?
we
Like
were not
like-
booms,
like
not
bugs?
booms. When bugs. So like we'd
What
be
the fuck?
we'd be whispering. No. They get everything.
What the
They just have
fuck?
a lot to work with when the final project is put together. We
Damn.
were like whispering, and we realized early on. I was like, check behind the bed. Mics all over behind the bed.
Oh my god, my chest just got tight.
No, but that was like, it was such, overall, it was a very fun experience. And like my biggest fear was like the world depicting me as something I didn't feel was authentically me.
Yeah.
And I survived it.
You did, and you really do have so many other platforms, which is good. Like myself included, with that same sentiment. Like it is nice to know that the people that are fucking rocking with you are not wavering. And like I got so much love when I posted that you were coming on the show. Like everyone was like, "This is iconic." Like I would be like, "What?" So many answers to the question box where I don't care what you guys talk about. Like just please just have her on the podcast. It was. You have so many people out there that really adore you.
I know I'm working with my therapist to like not care about that, but I really like it.
No,
But people say
validation's
like
nice.
you shouldn't like people who love you too much or hate you too much, like you can't take in. But I was in a dark place like a year ago where someone asked me on their podcast, and apparently she got some like really mean messages, and someone she laughed about it to me, and someone goes, "Do you know her? 'Cause I've watched her show and she's like said something mean." And my friend responded was like, "Yeah, I've met her.
Yeah,
I met her in real life."
I met her in real life.
But it was hard for me to know that like my people around me were getting messages about me that so you just walk in a room and you're like you just feel like you have to make people like you even more,
right?
Which is like not the way to live life.
My God, me overcompensating. My middle fucking name. I used to do it so much, like,
and it makes people uncomfortable.
It makes people so uncomfortable. I literally every year or every like New Year's resolution is like talk less, listen more, and I don't even mean interrupting people, which I also have a problem with. I'm working on that. I say it in every podcast.
You fit into New York,
but I really I overcompensate with like my speed. Like even something as simple like if I need Courtney to be somewhere 10 minutes early, instead of just asking her like, hey, could you show up 10 minutes early? I'm like, hey, could you go up to dinner? Because like she's probably like, Shane, you could just ask me to be here 10 minutes early. Like I never want. I don't know. I'm always like I overcompensate
as
with
like
everything
kind
in
of
life.
a type A control freak. I thought that I could like control my narrative on reality TV. You can't. I thought I could control how everyone felt about me. You can't. I thought I could make everyone like me. You can't. And then you learn at one point, oh, your energy's your energy, and people who fuck with you, and people who don't. And that's okay as long as you're being authentically yourself. Anxiety comes from when you're not being yourself. It's like the tension between like the fake persona and the real persona.
And it's so much to keep up with. It's so much to like it's like a lie. You're keeping up with yourself.
And if I wasn't myself, I actually probably would still be on Summer House because I'd be better at politics and I'd be quiet and I'd just smile. And I am the kind of person that like if I feel like fake shit around me, like I will let it known.
Yeah.
And I just kind of have to live with the consequences of that sometimes.
Do you feel like you've dealt with that since you were little? Because I know from a really young age, my mom was always having to convince. She was like always having to sit me down and be like, that person is, and I'd be like explaining why like we got in a fight. And I'm like, see, there was no real reason. And my mom's like, you have to understand that sometimes there will be no reason. They just don't. You're not their cup of tea. And I remember at a young age, I was like, but I'm not, but I did this for them. I did this. And my mom's like, it does not matter. Now they're probably just creeped out that you're doing too much trying to like them. There's this girl in Nashville, actually, like this girl just did not like me. Like she could not come with a reason. I would even ask our friends, I'd be like, hey, ask her why she doesn't like me. Cause I want to know, because maybe I can fix it. And they're like, okay. And then they'd be like, she said she doesn't really know why. And then like one day I just had the balls to like message her and I was like, hey, Abby, like, why do you not like me? And she basically was just like, I don't like you. Like, and then fast forward, I actually texted someone I never do this. Like I texted the wrong person and was like, oh my God, I literally fucking hate her. And it was to her. And so now she has a reason.
But like you never even liked her.
No, I was just so fixated on why she didn't like me. I was just like, I don't understand.
But
like,
people see you through a lens of all their own unique experiences. Like for all we know, you remind her of her cousin who's a shithead.
Well, you know what I will say now? I really appreciate that she distanced herself from me fully, and I just clung like a fucking spider monkey. Like I would insert myself into situations where she would be in, and I would like be like, I can fix this. Like I'll make her like me. She'll realize I'm funny. She'll realize whatever. And I actually, now that I've been in a similar situation where I'm like, oh my God, I don't like this person. Can they get the fucking hint? I respect her. Really, I actually do respect her for like saying she doesn't like me, saying she to me, I don't like you, and then removing herself from not.
It's also
from
the
me.
same thing with romantic relationships. What are you gonna do? Keep being like, hi, like a little puppy dog? It's like, no. I gravitate towards the right people. She
didn't like, she wasn't two-faced. If you really don't like me, she really stopped hanging out with me and putting herself around me, and that is at least admirable in that sense. So you should still like me. I'm fun, but whatever. But it's fine. It's fine.
What I dealt with in therapy was just being like, why did this happen to me? Because I used to be very like, if I treat people right and I do the right thing, I can control my future. Like the universe will be good to me because I'm so good. Even like I remember I would like clean my room before a tennis match because I'll be like, if I'm a good girl, I'll win. And like that's not how the universe works.
It's not. You're right.
So to my therapist, I just was like, why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to me? And she's like, there's no reason. And that's like fucking scary. To think that you are just a leaf blown in this wind.
Well, we are.
This is a philosophical podcast.
This is, guys.
But once you can kind of have empathy for yourself, and not get mad at yourself, like not
like, what did I do?
Yes. How could I have not done that? How could I fix that? But I'm in a place now where like I found gratitude, and I also have like released a lot of animosity I have towards people who hurt me, and understand also like I probably hurt people too.
And I will say, and we're getting close to an hour, so we can just finish with this. But like truly, I did have one more question.
Oh, sorry.
What was it? No, it's not you. It's me. Oh, it was about, you said something about the universe, and someone was like, how do you guys both like being fire signs? And I didn't obviously look up your horoscope before you came here. Sorry.
What's your horoscope?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh my God, I'm a Leo, so we get along really well. I'm also a Scorpio rising and a Virgo moon.
I don't know my rising.
If the people care.
Oh, they care. They care. Trust me, they care.
How do you not know?
I don't know. My friend Anna Grace told me one time. Sorry, I have something in my eye, and I forgot. I think my CoStar app tells me.
Oh my God, CoStar app
I'll tell
is wild.
My CoStar app always
Who
just
needs
like
a
notifies me
therapist?
and will be like, and we'll just be like, it's okay to cry. And I'm like, I was feeling fine today. And I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah. Like that's literally what it says to me. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I just opened it. Are you courting sadness? No, I'm not. They're like, but it's okay.
Maybe you're suppressing some stuff that we'll talk about it on
It's
another
my spray
pod.
tan. I'm really ready to get a fucking spray tan. God damn it.
Your paleness. Look, I do have to say, I am that bitch when I have a spray tan. I'm actually not the same girl.
No.
I don't know her.
I don't know her.
I don't get along with the pale side of me.
I actually don't know her. I don't have any makeup that matches her. I don't have clothing that looks good on her.
I don't take accountability for the things she says or does.
It's not our fault.
No.
What she did when she wasn't tan.
Because
You know?
I think there's a drug in it and it goes inside you.
Definitely.
It can't be healthy.
They're definitely, first of all, they definitely don't have enough research to decide if it will or will not give us cancer one day, and that's a risk I'm personally willing to take. But
When you're 65, we'll find out.
that is when we'll find out. 100%. I mean, the people that spray tan you wear little nose plugs. I'm like, they know.
They know.
They know. They fucking know. Hannah, I'm gonna have you on a trillion more times if you'll let me. I love you. You guys check her out. Your Instagram is at Hannah Burner, right? And then Burning in Hell's podcast, Giggly Swad podcast.
Oh, I also have a
What?
couple dates. I
You
am
have a
going to
couple dates.
Tacoma.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to Portland.
I was like, you're married. What are you talking about?
I know.
I was like, I love talking about boys, but you're
We still
married.
have fun. I'm going to Chicago, and Paige and I will be doing Giggly Squad in New York.
You're doing
and
live?
DC. Yeah, so
Oh
I
my
have,
God, I
I
have
have
to
some
come. I wanna
random
see it.
shows. Oh my God, girl.
Yay!
Green room fun.
I cannot wait. Okay.
We'll
I
black
love
out.
this.
Don't
we'll
worry.
have martinis.
Yes.
Okay.
Espresso.
Love you.